The United States government is once again facing the threat of a partial shutdown, a recurring issue driven by a legislative impasse between Democrats and Republicans. The latest flashpoint centers on a demand by Democratic leaders for a meeting with President Trump to negotiate on key policy issues, specifically health care, before they will agree to a continuing resolution to fund the government. This situation underscores a broader political struggle where Democrats, feeling they have leverage, are using the funding deadline to push back against the administration's policies, particularly those related to the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid. The core of the issue is a Republican-led short-term funding bill, which the House has already passed. Republicans describe this as a clean bill, meant to simply keep the government open at current spending levels while a long-term budget is negotiated. However, Democrats view it as a non-starter. Their opposition is rooted in a desire to address the looming expiration of enhanced ACA premium subsidies and to reverse recent Medicaid cuts that were part of a larger Republican-led tax and spending bill. They argue that these issues are not just policy issues for a later date, but rather an immediate healthcare crisis that will lead to skyrocketing premiums and millions of uninsured Americans. By demanding a direct meeting with President Trump, Democratic leaders are effectively bypassing congressional Republican leadership and placing the burden of negotiations squarely on the White House. This is a strategic move, as many Democrats believe that the president is the one calling all the shots for his party in Congress. This demand, however, has been met with resistance, as the president has previously urged Republicans to avoid negotiations and to hold firm. Reasons and consequences. The primary reason for this impasse is the deep ideological chasm between the two parties, particularly on health care. Democrats are fighting to protect the social safety net and the gains made under the ACA, while Republicans are continuing their efforts to dismantle or roll back key elements of the law. The current budget negotiations have become the main battleground for this fight. The consequences of a government shutdown are far-reaching and impactful for the American public. First and foremost, a shutdown would suspend non-essential government services. This means national parks would close, new patients at the National Institutes of Health would be turned away, and federal services like passport processing and certain small business loans would be delayed. Additionally, hundreds of thousands of federal employees would be furloughed or forced to work without pay, creating significant financial strain for their families. While essential services like air traffic control and military operations would continue, they would be staffed by workers not receiving paychecks, which could lead to staffing shortages and delays, as seen in previous shutdowns. From a political standpoint, a shutdown carries significant risk for both parties. While Republicans currently control the White House and both chambers of Congress, which might lead the public to assign blame to them, a shutdown is never popular. Each side will inevitably attempt to frame the other as the cause of the chaos. The political fallout could energize voters on both sides and influence the upcoming midterm elections, especially in districts where the effects of the shutdown are most keenly felt. Prediction and solutions. Given the current dynamics, a government shutdown appears to be a very real possibility. With the House-passed bill rejected by the Senate and Congress heading into a recess, the window for a deal is shrinking. The two sides are far apart on key issues, and a lack of direct, high-level negotiation suggests that a resolution is not imminent. It is likely that the deadline will pass, leading to at least a partial shutdown. The ultimate length of the shutdown will depend on which side feels the most public pressure and is willing to compromise first. A viable solution to avert the shutdown would require a significant shift in strategy from both sides. A full compromise is ideal, but unlikely. A more realistic solution is a temporary deal that gives both parties a face-saving way to avoid a shutdown. This could take the form of another short-term continuing resolution that includes a limited extension of the healthcare subsidies, or a separate, bipartisan negotiation on the healthcare issues, while a clean funding bill passes for the rest of the government. In the end, a solution will require President Trump and congressional leaders to come to the table and prioritize keeping the government running over scoring political points.